I just wanted to try a live video on PrayPal. So, good morning. I just posted Psalm 29, which is the lectionary reading for today. And, sometimes you see something and think, do I talk about that or do I just keep my head down and dodge a bullet? Well, of course, I looked at the footnote. And the footnote speaks about sons of God as a different version of heavenly beings. And it's just that verse 1 of Psalm 29. Ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings. And there are many interpretations of sons of God. And our first source is in Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 to 4. And in Genesis 6, we read, the heading is the wickedness of humankind. It says, when people began to multiply on the face of the ground and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that they were fair, and they took wives for themselves of all that they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit shall not abide in mortals forever, for they are flesh. Their days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans, who bore children to them. These were the heroes that were of old, warriors of renown. And some people have said, oh, hold on a minute, so these sons of God mated with humans? So this is angelic beings coming down and mating with human beings and producing these Nephilim. And you read more about the Nephilim in the book of Enoch, which is a extra book that was written during the Hebrew Bible times. But if you read the language there, just to sort of dispel this first thing about the Nephilim with the product of these unions, it says the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterwards. So it means that they already existed. They were there at the same time as the sons of God saw the fair daughters on the earth and made love to them. So the Nephilim are the product of that. The Nephilim were there already. And in the book of Job, there's a couple of references in the very introduction. It says there was once a man called Job who was blameless and upright. Well, we know that, don't we? We've read that before. But if I then find the passage that I'm trying to think where it was now, this is a problem of having a book with lots of pages bookmarked. Here we go. The attack on Job's health. It's chapter 2, verse 1. One day, the heavenly beings came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them to present himself before the Lord. The Lord said to Satan, where have you come from? And Satan answered to the Lord, from going to and fro on the earth and from walking up and down on it. So there again, we've got the heavenly beings presenting them before the Lord. So these were the angelic beings, and they were part of God's court, some commentators would say. And then we've also got in the book of Daniel, where the fiery furnace, do we all remember the fiery furnace? Well, there's one bit where it says that King Nebuchadnezzar looked into the fire and he said, were there not 3 men thrown bound into the fire? And the servants answered the king, true, O king. But the king replied, but I see 4 men unbound, walking in the middle of the fire, and they were not hurt. And the 4th has the appearance of a god. And that again could be one of the sons of God, one of the angelic beings. So there have been many interpretations and many references. But sometimes we have to acknowledge that we don't exactly know who these are. And theologians have spent lots and lots of time trying to make a decision as to who they are. But from one little footnote, all these thoughts just spill out of my head. And I think one of the things we need to acknowledge is that there are, in many senses of our studies in the Bible, many interpretations. And also there's no explanation, because it speaks later about the heroes. This were the sons of God, the heroes. And there's no further reference to it. There's no further reference to the Nephilim, about what they were or who they were or where they'd come from. As I say, in the book of Enoch, it suddenly becomes that the Nephilim are giants, and that's why God sent the flood. So all of that. But when the Hebrew Bible was being passed down orally by word of mouth, people knew who the Nephilim were. People knew about the sons of God. This was in their normal understanding. We now, as time has gone past, don't know anything about that. It's in the same way that when we talk about, can you remember Z cars? Well, some of us will. But my grandchildren wouldn't have a clue. My children wouldn't have a clue. I'm sure a lot of you listening here don't know what the Z cars was. Or what a Karamak bar was. Or what Jif was before it turned into Sif. Or a marathon bar that suddenly turned into a Snickers bar. All of these things that changed, but at the time, it was just normal. So anyway, now I'm rambling, so I'm going to cease. I'm going to pray you good wishes, and have a lovely Saturday. Bye for now.